Hey, what's happening, Herpers? Today I'm giving something to my pet Tegu L, something I'm super excited about. No, it's not her breakfast here, but I will be giving that to her later on in this video. Today I'm excited because she will finally be going into her new enclosure, and I hear her getting impatient, so I'll show you where she has been waiting this whole time. Sorry to bring you in the bathroom with me, but usually I film these videos a few days out ahead of time, but today it is down to the wire because of how much time I needed for the tank to air out properly. So while I was getting my Tegu's enclosure in place this morning, getting everything ready for her, making sure that it wasn't going to be too hot for her, making sure that it was going to be escape-proof and all that good stuff, I put Elle inside a quick bath, and I keep hearing her try to jump out. So luckily I'm done making her food now, and she's probably wondering why the heck she's been in here so long, aren't you? But that is where she has been waiting for the last about 3 hours while I got the reptile room all reordered. And now I will show you the enclosure she will be heading into, and I'll be right back to get you out of here in a minute. All right. And this is going to be her new enclosure. So you already saw Spot's new enclosure. I haven't done anything fancy with it yet, but I did move him over to this side of the room with the other Neodeshes, so I can have a little bit of order in the reptile room here. But that is Spot, my Western Diamondback, and Elle, my Tegu, will be going right below him. You can see I haven't gotten the bedding in. I still have the fan going. I was working on this up until yesterday morning, so I'm really kind of down to the wire, just trying to make sure that this airs out as much as possible before I put my Tegu in here. And this will be Elle's new water dish. And since the last video about Cleo's enclosure, you can see she's actually all stretched out, enjoying her space, making the most of it right now. I did get her a new water dish since that last video. She needed something bigger, and now that I finally had the space to give her something bigger, I just got one of those terracotta hot water drainage catcher things, and that has been doing a good job for her. But there's Cleo. And if you're curious at all about how I made Elle's new enclosure that we're going to see Elle go into today, I used the same exact technique on Elle's enclosure that I used to make Cleo's enclosure, and I do have a step-by-step video already on my channel showing you how I created this enclosure. So if you're curious how you can make an enclosure like this for your reptiles, I'll put a card for that video up top right now, and I'll also link it down in the description so you can figure out how to make one of these for yourself, or so you can at least see how I made these enclosures and you can learn from my mistakes and tell me where I went wrong in the comments. Alright, so everything in here should be dry. The curing process for the silicone should be complete, so I can turn the fan off and get that out of there now. And then I've got some of the leftover cocoa fiber or cocoa coir block that I used to make the enclosure. If you're curious about what type I use, that's linked in the description. Got some leftover coconut fiber that I will be using for the enclosure bedding. And then I also have a whole bunch of the Repti chip left over that I'll also be mixing in with that coconut fiber. But both of those varieties of bedding will do a lot to help hold on to humidity, which will really help out when it comes time for the reptiles to shed, which I think Elle's getting ready to do very soon. So if you want to see what a Tegu looks like when they shed, and if you want to see Elle at her absolute best when she's done shedding, then make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss when that starts to happen. And now I will go ahead and start getting the bedding in the enclosure and mixing it together. I was a little worried I was going to be running low on bedding by the time I got done working on these enclosures, but this looks perfect. I'm going to have a little bit of extra. I'll mix in some of the coconut fiber too, along with the Repti chip. Spot is real upset he's the last one on this wall without a custom enclosure. Of course he stops rattling as soon as I say he's upset. He just wants to make me look dumb. Thanks a lot, bud. Alright. Start mixing in some of that cocoa fiber too. Help pull up those leaves. Try and make it look lush back by the water source here. And I think I might actually fill up a little bit of the log with this. That way Elle can get the sensation of digging. Tegus do a lot of digging and a lot of burrowing in the wild. So I'm going to go in that hole that we created in the log, or I created in the log. I don't know if I'm gonna include showing you that whole process because there's a lot of work, and showing you how I made Cleo's was a lot of editing. But if you're curious, I can get more into the weeds of how I made this. Where I was going with that is I'm going to try filling in the log with some of this bedding. That way it's not completely ready for my Tegu to just go in. She's gonna have to do a little bit of digging herself, and I'm hoping by having her do a little bit of the digging, as she just excavates the area I already planned for her to use on her own, I'm hoping that by the time she finds the area I planned for her to use, she will have already scratched the digging bug, so to speak, and she won't feel the need to go digging actually through the log or anything like that, because I know she's strong enough, I know her nails are strong enough, I know Tegus are determined enough that if she decides to, she might dig right through the styrofoam that this log that she will hopefully use as a hide is made out of. But I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that. You're just gonna have to subscribe and stay tuned to find out. But I will definitely do an update, maybe around the 6-month mark, to show how both the Tegu enclosure ages up here and how Cleo, my red-tailed boa's enclosure, ages down here. But anyway, that's enough talking. I'll get back to putting the bedding in the enclosure, and then we'll go get Elle, my Tegu, and see how she likes it. All right, and just like that, I've got it all filled with the bedding. And now all that's left to do is fill it with the Tegu. But there is the finished enclosure. And Elle has been waiting for about 3 hours now, so I know she's ready to get out of that bath. So I'll come in here. We'll see if she's even still awake. Sometimes when I leave her this long, she'll fall asleep. But it looks like she's awake today. You ready to get out of there? Let's go. You want to do it yourself? You're gonna get all wiggly if I hold you? Alright, let me get you a towel. Oh, you have no idea what's in store. I think you're being pampered now. Wait till you see what's coming. You see what's new? How did she know? So I was gonna joke that I wasn't gonna be able to just let her find it on her own like I let Cleo find her enclosure on her own. But I just held her up to it to show it to her, and she crawled right in on her own. She's taking her time though, still letting her tail hang all the way out. What do you think of that? I've got the omelet for the day that I've made her sit in the other room that I was gonna put inside of here to entice her into it, but that doesn't seem like it was necessary. She's looking at me like, don't make me come out of here. I like this. I guess we'll see how much she likes it. I'll leave this wide open and I'll leave the camera rolling, and I will be right back with her omelet. And hopefully when I get back, she's still in there and you guys didn't see her go jumping from the second story. All right, no skydiving Tegus while I was gone. That's a good sign. And I just came back and there's her breakfast. She might go skydiving if she sees that hanging over the edge any longer. So I'll put that in front of her. And now the rest of this video is gonna be just seeing her have her meal and hopefully do some exploring in her new enclosure. You got some eggs, some broccoli, some blueberry. Oh, I tried going for the broccoli. Either dropped it or had second thoughts. I was going for more broccoli. It was on purpose. She's just having trouble with it. Or she finally found the blueberries and omelet she was going for the whole time, and now she's gonna be done with the broccoli. See if she'll let me help her with that at all. This is a good way to get bit by a Tegu, so unless you know your animal, do not try that. Alright, looks like she was just having trouble eating the broccoli on her own. I don't give it to her that often. I believe the issue with broccoli, I don't remember exactly, but I think it is that it's too high in oxalates, so it's one of those feed in moderation foods. I know that for sure, even if I'm messing up the exact reason. So she's not very used to going for broccoli, but as you can see, if I make it easy for her, you want this? Let's see if she'll take another piece from my hand. Nope, no competing with grapes. Grapes and blueberries are her favorite by a long shot. Watch her push the broccoli out of the way with her nose, going for that last grape. You done with the food, or you just need some help? Got some more broccoli. You got a couple more blueberries left. You want them? Alright, you did a pretty good job. Ate most of the egg, a lot of the greens, all the grapes, and most of the blueberries. You want a little more before I give you a break? Alright, I'm just going to clean up the food scraps. Cleaning up the enclosure, or at least spot cleaning the enclosure right after your reptile eats, especially if it's as messy of an eater as a Tegu, oh bless you, as a Tegu or a blue-tongued skink or something like that. Cleaning the enclosure of leftover food right after they're done eating is one of the best ways you can cut down on the need for doing full enclosure cleanings. If you just get that food matter and when they do poop, the poop out of the enclosure as soon as it's in there, that can really help cut down on the overall cleaning and maintenance that you have to do for your Tegu or whatever reptile you are caring for. Alright, I'm gonna have to get some more water in there to make her fully realize that's her water dish. So she's showing some interest in there. There's just that kind of back corner. I won't be surprised if she spends a lot of time curled up down there, but Tegus like a really hot basking spot, which is why I had this kind of fallen log idea. I was hoping that it would get her nice and close to the basking spot. That way she can enjoy all the heat that she needs to make sure that she is fully digesting these meals we're giving her. Well, this might be the last we see of her for a little while. Just like when I gave the enclosure to Cleo down here a couple weeks ago, she went straight to hiding under her stump. I've got a feeling that as soon as Elle realizes I'm not going to stop her from ducking into that hole in the log, I think she is going to spend a lot of her first couple days hiding out from me, afraid that I'm going to pull her out. But just like with Cleo, I'll give her that time. I'll let her realize that this enclosure is, like with Cleo's, her safe space. That log is going to be Elle's. If she's outside of it, I'll try to get her out. If I need to, I'll lure her out with food. But if she's inside of that log, I'm not going to just pull her out of it, because for a reptile to be happy, they need to feel like they have some space that they are safe and secure in. There's a little bit of a drop off, nothing crazy, especially since I filled it with bedding. But that might be why she's hesitating a little bit on going in. Or she could just be letting her food settle, watching her lick those chops. That's got me thinking maybe she's just letting her meal settle a little bit. Well, what you think? You gonna go in? Alright. See her taking her sweet time, making sure it's safe. I'll close up this side. And because she just had a meal, I'm anticipating she'll come up and find this basking spot before too long. But if she gets comfortable in there, she could also end up taking a nap. We'll see if she comes out. Another little sneeze. That is so cool. I love seeing her in there. There is nothing like finally seeing a reptile enjoy an enclosure as you actually planned for them to. after working on that enclosure for weeks. Alright, well, if she comes back out, or when she comes back out, I will get some footage of her up in the basking spot. But for the time being, I think that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed getting to see Elle head into this new enclosure for the first time as much as I did. And if you did, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe button, and all the other YouTube stuff that lets YouTube know that this was an alright video and they should show it to other people. Unless, of course, you didn't like the video, then go ahead and hit the dislike button. Yeah, I know YouTube made it so you can't see how many people hit the button on your side anymore, but rest assured on the creator side, we can still see exactly how many people hate these videos. So if you didn't like the video, let me know, and let me know how I can improve on the next one. And finally, I would like to thank all of my patrons that make these videos possible. And an extra special thank you is in order for Amanda Lynn, Bobby Cromer, Lindsay Justice, and Lavenders for all being members of my Head Herpers tier. You can join these excellent people in getting a shout out at the end of every video, as well as special voting rights for upcoming topics of videos by supporting my Patreon at the $10 a month tier. Or if you want to just help me keep the channel going, you can also sign on to support for as little as $3 a month and still get your name in the ending credits of every full YouTube video. Next week's video looks like it will also be the first Patreon chosen topic video, and as of the moment it looks like the winning topic choice for that video is going to be house snakes here, but I will be posting another poll soon just so a few more people can vote since we've had some new members join recently. So if you want to influence what next week's video is going to be, make sure to check out my Patreon. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope your Tegu doesn't tunnel out of its new custom enclosure, but most of all, I hope that you just keep herping.